Tibet, located in the heart of the majestic Himalayas, is one of the highest and most enigmatic regions on our planet. Its unique geographical location and natural conditions make it not only the most elevated region, but also a place shrouded in numerous legends and spiritual mysteries. This land, surrounded by such mighty peaks as Everest and other majestic mountain summits, is like a postcard with breathtaking landscapes, offering a unique opportunity to admire the most incredible and awe-inspiring natural beauties of the earth. The grandeur of these natural monuments creates the feeling that you are looking through a giant window into a world of unparalleled beauty and harmony, where each peak seems to guard the ancient secrets of this mysterious land. Tibet is the cradle of Buddhist teachings and spiritual traditions, a place where the legendary spiritual practice originated and developed, giving rise to great leaders like the Dalai Lama. This spiritual leader, who has become a symbol of peace and enlightenment for millions of people around the world, is considered the embodiment of a high spiritual quest. Perhaps his inspiration and striving for inner enlightenment are largely connected to the surrounding nature which, with its unique beauty and power, awakens deep feelings and spiritual reflections in people. The origins of this spiritual tradition go back to the distant past, and it is thanks to these age-old teachings that Tibet has become a place where wisdom and faith are intertwined into the fabric of culture. The Tibetan people, with their rich culture and unique traditions, are a living testament to ancient Buddhist teachings passed down from generation to generation. Their culture is a unique blend of religious rituals, ceremonies, music, and art rooted in deep antiquity. These traditions have withstood the test of time and external influences, preserving their identity and uniqueness. Their entire life is closely connected with the mountains and the reverence for ancestors, which forms a special worldview and way of life, allowing them to successfully adapt and survive in conditions that often present serious challenges to human endurance. It is this connection with nature and reverence for the past that create a unique spiritual atmosphere that distinguishes Tibet from other regions of the world. The high-altitude landscapes of Tibet, with their serene silence and magic, combine tranquility and a mystical aura, creating a unique atmosphere for those seeking spiritual paths and inner peace. In this land, ancient monasteries, temples, and cities have been preserved, where traditions rooted in the depths of centuries live on. In these places, ancient methods of rebirth are practiced, associated with the belief that the Dalai Lama is the embodiment of a deity, and an infant is recognized as his manifestation from an early age. Also in Tibet, there exists a unique institution known as polyandry, a special type of Tibetan brotherhood that often surprises those who learn of its existence. In this brotherhood, men are united by deep bonds and traditions, making it one of the most unusual phenomena of Tibetan culture. Tibet is a land filled with unique features and traditions that make it unlike any other place on Earth. Besides its fascinating rituals and ceremonies, this region holds many secrets and legends that have long intrigued researchers and adventurers. Among them are legends of the mysterious monster of Lake Namko, believed to be home to a mysterious creature or spiritual forces. There are also myths of lost kingdoms, such as Shambhala and Agartha, legendary centers of spiritual enlightenment and wisdom, which many seekers of spiritual truths dream of. These legends fuel interest in Tibet from people around the world, turning it into a place where great secrets and ancient knowledge are hidden. Situated on a vast plateau often referred to as the roof of the world, Tibet covers an area approximately equal to. The name Tibet comes from an ancient word that in the Tibetan language sounds like Bat. Initially, this term was used to denote the central part of the region, surrounded by high mountains, where the capital city, Lhasa, is located. However, according to linguists, the origin of this word has a Semitic root, and its connection to the concept of height is quite understandable given the geographical features of the region. Indeed, Tibet occupies a unique position in the world. It stretches across one of the highest mountain platforms, and among its features is the presence of the highest capital in the world, the city of Lhasa. This city, being the traditional capital of Tibet and the administrative center of the modern autonomous region, is located at an altitude of approximately 13,650 feet above sea level. Lhasa is rightly considered the highest capital on the planet and ranks second in height among all cities in Asia. The name of this city translates to "place of the gods," and it serves as a vivid symbol of the spiritual and cultural heritage of the region. Lhasa is the heart of Tibetan Buddhism, the center of centuries-old traditions and beliefs, and the location of some of the most famous and revered religious monuments in the world. Among them, the majestic Potala Palace, the former residence of the Dalai Lamas, and Norbalinka, the summer palace of the spiritual leader, hold a special place. These architectural masterpieces, along with numerous temples and monasteries scattered throughout the city, are included in the UNESCO World Heritage List. The population of Lhasa is about 250,000 people, and it divides the city into 7 administrative districts. This compact but densely populated city plays an important role in the cultural, spiritual, and social life of the region. Overall, the population of all of Tibet is approximately 3 million people, which further emphasizes the significance of Lhasa as a center of attraction, culture, and religion. On the vast Tibetan plateau, where this unique expanse unfolds, the Tibetan language holds a special place. This language is one of the most fascinating and complex in the world, as it is tonal. This means that the same word, pronounced with different intonation or pronunciation, can acquire entirely different meanings. Imagine the richness of expressive possibilities this opens up. The same sequence of sounds can convey a multitude of nuances, emotions, and meanings, depending on the context, intonation, or vocal characteristics of the speaker. Such a nature of the language speaks to the depth and complexity of the culture of the people, for whom words are not just a means of conveying information, but a means of expressing the subtlest feelings, values, and ingrained traditions. Many of these traditions are closely linked with religion, Tibetan Buddhism. This unique form of Buddhism, which originated on the Indian subcontinent, was brought to Tibet in the 7th century, and over time acquired a special character, incorporating local beliefs and practices. Today, Tibetan Buddhism is a crucial part of national identity, defining the way of life and spiritual practice for many people in the region. In this spiritual tradition, ancient monasteries hold a special place, along with vibrant prayer flags fluttering in the wind, and numerous festivals that fill the air with the sounds of chanting and prayers. These vivid expressions of faith form a unique portrait of Tibet's spiritual roots. At the core of this spiritual system lies the concept of Shangri-La, the mythical idea of an inner divine spark inherent in every person. This idea inspires believers to seek enlightenment and unity with the divine through meditative practices and sacred rituals, making Tibetan Buddhism not only a religion, but also a way of life for its followers. Some of the most remarkable and impressive natural and architectural landmarks of the region are the Tibetan temples, located atop majestic mountains and scattered across picturesque valleys. These sacred places are not just architectural masterpieces, they serve as centers of spiritual life. Surrounded by majestic snowy peaks and endless mountain landscapes covered with a snowy blanket in winter, the Dalai Lamas are not only spiritual mentors, but also political leaders, figures who command deep respect and reverence worldwide. Their wisdom and boundless compassion make them symbols of hope and spiritual enlightenment for millions of people seeking meaning in life and inner peace. The word Dalai comes from the Mongolian word meaning ocean, symbolizing the boundless depth of their spiritual wisdom and compassion. The term Lama is a Tibetan word denoting a reincarnated master, a spiritual mentor who, according to beliefs, is an embodiment of higher divine forces. Thus, the Dalai Lama is not just a spiritual teacher, but also the supreme leader of the Tibetan people, their spiritual and political leader, who holds a special place in the hearts of believers and commands respect worldwide. Those who adhere to the teachings of Tibetan Buddhism claim that the Dalai Lamas are not random figures, but incarnations of Avalokiteshvara, the deity of compassion, which is one of the most important deities in the Tibetan tradition. Avalokiteshvara is considered the patron of Tibet and a symbol of boundless love and mercy. According to ancient beliefs, after the death of a Dalai Lama, his soul does not disappear, but transitions into a new incarnation, which traditionally occurs no later than 49 days after death, and this newborn being is considered sacred. From the moment of the spiritual leader's death until his reincarnation, a special process takes place in which a child is sought, who possesses special signs and omens indicating his future role. The current Dalai Lama is Tenzin Gyatso, a man who has managed not only to become a spiritual and political leader, but also to gain worldwide fame for his wisdom, kindness, and resilience. His accolades include the Nobel Peace Prize, awarded to him in 1989, as well as participation in the creation of numerous documentaries and feature films, among which is the famous 7 Years in Tibet. These works have helped the world better understand the spiritual depth and inner strength of the Tibetan people, as well as the unyielding resilience with which they fight for their culture and freedom. One of the most ancient and astonishing traditions of the Tibetan people is the belief in the succession of the Dalai Lamas, a unique aspect of their culture rooted in deep antiquity. Tibetans firmly believe in reincarnation, that is, the soul of a departed spiritual mentor does not disappear, but transitions into a new body. In the case of the Dalai Lama, this process is particularly meticulously regulated. It is believed that his soul after death is reborn in an infant who must be found and prepared for future service. This search is a complex and painstaking process, involving not only searches around the world, but also the interpretation of various symbols, omens, and unusual signs indicating the possible location of the future incarnate. When seekers find a suitable child, he is carefully trained and initiated into Buddhist teachings so that he can become the spiritual leader of his community, continuing a tradition that has been passed down for centuries from generation to generation. This process is known as the reincarnation of the Dalai Lamas and is one of the cornerstones of the spiritual life of Tibet. These sacred customs, rooted in the rich spiritual and cultural heritage of the region, inspire millions of people worldwide, offering them a path to inner peace, harmony, and connection with higher forces. The majestic and mysterious landscape of Tibet is not only a place of spiritual practices, but also a source of legends shrouded in centuries of oblivion. Tibet appears before us as a truly magical place, where natural landscapes amaze with their beauty and grandeur, and the architecture of ancient temples and monasteries creates an atmosphere of harmony and spiritual quest. The majestic mountain peaks, capped with snow, serve as a backdrop for lost valleys and monastic complexes, giving the entire region a special mysterious aura. In this place, it seems that the boundaries between reality and fantasy blur. Everything seems possible, and imagination comes alive against the backdrop of mountain peaks as if in a fairy tale. Whether it is a journey to ancient shrines in search of spiritual enlightenment or contemplation of the mysteries of vanished civilizations hidden deep within, Tibet invariably evokes a sense of awe, wonder, and reverence in everyone who dares to venture into these sacred lands. This region is not only a place of inspiration and mysticism, but also possesses several significant reasons that make it one of the most important corners of the world. One of the main reasons for its significance is its strategic location. Tibet borders India, Nepal, Bhutan, and Myanmar, making it a crucial link between the countries of South and Central Asia. This position gives the region special geopolitical value, as control over Tibet means influence over trade routes, security, and political interests of neighboring states. Moreover, Tibet is known as the water tower of all Asia. Together with the Chinese province of Qinghai, it forms a massive reservoir filled with glaciers that feed the continent's largest rivers. These rivers are the lifeline for millions of people, providing water for irrigation, industry, and daily life. The geographical uniqueness of the region is also manifested in its wealth of natural resources. Tibet is home to numerous mineral deposits, such as iron, lead, zinc, cadmium, and copper, as well as the largest mine in China where these minerals are extracted. Equally important are the reserves of oil and natural gas present in these lands. It is the presence of such significant natural wealth that has been the cause of long-standing territorial disputes and conflicts with China, which has repeatedly laid claims to these lands to secure its energy and economic interests. However, beyond its natural and strategic merits, Tibet holds many mysteries and legends that evoke both awe and apprehension in many. Among them is the legend of a creature that, according to some reports, inhabited the depths of one of Tibet's most famous lakes, Lake Namtso. Despite the lack of solid evidence, this legend has long stirred the minds of the region's inhabitants. It is said that in these seemingly serene and quiet waters, a monster lurks, resembling a mythical creature that has long been part of local folklore. Stories of this mysterious being are passed down from generation to generation, and one tale, in particular, captures attention. According to local elders, many decades ago at sunset, a solitary fisherman set out in his small boat to catch fish on the silent surface of the lake and witnessed an unusual phenomenon. When he cast his net into the depths, he was suddenly gripped by a mysterious and elusive force that began pulling the boat into the dark waters. The fisherman's eyes were filled with wonder and anxiety as a giant creature, covered in shiny scales, slowly emerged from the water, its eyes glowing as they watched him from the shadows. The fisherman barely managed to utter an exclamation before the monster vanished into the depths of the lake, leaving behind only a faint ripple on the surface. Fortunately, this Tibetan fisherman made it to shore and recounted his encounter, sparking a wave of rumors and legends among the locals. If there truly exists a legend of a monster or mysterious creature hidden in the high Tibetan mountains, it is most likely about the Yeti, the abominable snowman, which, according to opinions and stories passed down by local residents, is frequently sighted in this region. Tibet, along with neighboring Nepal, is considered one of the areas where sightings of this enigmatic creature are particularly common. Local inhabitants, with their rich experience and knowledge of the local nature, speak of encounters with the Yeti, describing it as a large, thickly furred creature that dwells in the harsh, often inhospitable mountains. These descriptions are not random. They are woven into the cultural heritage of the region, passed down orally for centuries. Despite the scientific community's inability to confirm the Yeti's real existence, belief in its presence in these remote, inaccessible places remains strong. For many Tibetans, this creature is not just a myth or legend, but a part of their spiritual world and traditions. Some Tibetan communities regard the Yeti as a mystical and powerful figure, associating it with natural forces and mountain spirits, emphasizing their deep connection with the environment and spiritual tradition. In Tibet, there are numerous temples and sacred sites where images, statues, and figures of this mysterious creature are created, symbolizing its presence and wisdom. Believers offer sacrifices, conduct rituals, and ceremonies to gain protection, blessings, and harmony, believing that these rites help establish a connection with the mountain spirits and ensure well-being. Traveling through the majestic peaks of the Himalayas, one can feel the indescribable atmosphere of this unique region, where, despite scientific skepticism, belief in the abominable snowman persists and strengthens. In this place, where nature remains as wild and mysterious as it was centuries ago, Tibet holds a special position on the world map. It is the only corner of the planet where some of the oldest and most unusual traditions are still alive, among which one stands out in particular, the so-called Tibetan fraternal marriage, or fraternal polyandry. The word abominable in this context sounds rather harsh, but in reality, this practice is not as absurd as it might seem at first glance. Tibetan fraternal polyandry is a unique cultural phenomenon, where family ties intertwine in a special kind of marital union, bringing together brothers and sisters from different families. At the heart of this tradition is the idea that two brothers from one family can marry two sisters from another, thereby creating strong bonds between two different family lines. For example, two brothers from one family may marry two sisters from another, which helps strengthen connections and mutual understanding between them. This practice was significant for strengthening family and community ties, promoting cooperation, mutual support, and unity. Moreover, it served as a means of preserving family property and inheritance, as well as helping to balance the social and age characteristics of spouses to ensure equal opportunities and harmony in marital relationships. In addition to its social and spiritual meaning, fraternal marriage in Tibet was a way to honor the memory of ancestors, express respect for their traditions, and strengthen the sense of community and unity among families. Although from a Western perspective such a practice may seem unusual or even strange, for Tibetans it is an integral part of their cultural heritage and historical tradition. Over the centuries, despite numerous changes in society, despite the influence of modern values and global standards, many Tibetan communities continue to adhere to this form of marital union, considering it part of their cultural identity. In the context of globalization and the rapid development of the world, this tradition stands as a vivid example of the richness and diversity of Tibet's cultural heritage, demonstrating how deeply rooted customs can endure and thrive over the centuries. Before we continue, we would like to ask you a question. Have you ever dreamed of visiting Tibet? What do you think about its unique traditions and mysterious rituals hidden over the centuries? Which of these ancient practices or customs surprised you the most, inspired admiration, or piqued your interest? Take your time, pause the video, and take a moment to leave us your comment. Such a small act is the best way to support the World Without Censorship project, thanks to which we can continue to work on delighting you with interesting and quality content. We eagerly await your feedback, as it is thanks to you that we can grow and develop, expanding the boundaries of knowledge and opening new horizons. So thank you for your support and participation. As can be seen, Tibet is truly a special and unique world, filled with spirituality, history, and stunning natural beauty. This region, a sacred sanctuary of the East, represents a unique blend of grand, breathtaking landscapes situated at great heights. The average elevation of this region is about 4,900 meters above sea level, making it the highest region on the entire planet. Tibet seems to float among the clouds, surrounded by the highest peaks of the Himalayan range, creating the sensation that the earth and sky have merged into one. In this amazing place, not only natural beauty but also a rich, spiritual life harmoniously coexist. Majestic monasteries perched on sheer cliffs appear to hang in the air, serving not only as centers of religious practice, but also as symbols of faith and spiritual quest. Additionally, it is worth mentioning that Tibet was part of the ancient silk trade routes, which existed from the 6th century BC to the 20th century. These historical routes connected China with India, Central Asia, and the Middle East, making Tibet an important center of cultural and trade exchange. Overall, this place is a mystery and magic that everyone who has the opportunity should visit. The sacred temples and monasteries hold special significance in Tibet, many of which are located on the so-called Friendship Highway, the road connecting the capital of Tibet, Lhasa, with the capital of neighboring Nepal, Kathmandu. Among them, the Jokhang Temple stands out, a sacred place considered one of the oldest and most significant in the region. Its history spans over 1,300 years, and pilgrims from all over the world come here to find spiritual solace, strengthen their faith, and touch the sacred history of this place. Speaking of the altitude at which Tibet is located, it is important to remember the possible health consequences, especially the so-called altitude sickness. This unpleasant and sometimes dangerous problem arises from the body's inability to quickly adapt to the reduced oxygen levels at high altitudes. Symptoms can range from headaches and weakness to more serious manifestations, such as difficulty breathing and pulmonary edema, if timely measures are not taken. Therefore, When planning a trip to this region, it is necessary to prepare carefully and follow a number of rules to avoid unpleasant consequences. Gradual ascent and gradual acclimatization are the keys to a successful and safe journey. This allows the body to slowly adjust to the high-altitude conditions, minimizing the risk of altitude sickness and making your trip as comfortable and memorable as possible. The best time to visit Tibet is from April to October, when nature reveals itself in all its glory. During these months, it is warm, sunny, and the landscapes are filled with vibrant colors. However, it is important to remember that July and August are months when the region experiences a significant amount of rainfall, which can make travel and hiking routes difficult. Many travelers believe that September and October are the most favorable months for a trip, as the weather stabilizes during this time, and the natural scenery remains truly enchanting. Over the years, the geographical features of Tibet have posed a significant obstacle to the idea of creating a safe and convenient airport in this high-altitude region. The team of engineers and specialists involved in this challenging project faced numerous difficulties caused by harsh natural conditions and the unique geography of the area. During the construction of the airport, many attempts were made, and there were mistakes and failures, as air routes passed through dangerous areas, and some tragic accidents claimed the lives of pilots and passengers. Nevertheless, thanks to diligent work and constant technological improvements, many difficulties were overcome. A particularly important milestone was the construction of the airports in Lhasa and Gangar, which managed to eliminate the so-called Noli zone, a section previously considered almost impassable and posing a threat to safe landings and takeoffs. This significant breakthrough in the region's infrastructure became a true achievement, demonstrating progress and the ability to ensure the safety of air transportation in such a complex geographical area. Currently, air travel to Lhasa is considered as safe and comfortable as to any major airport in Europe or America. Regular flights from major Chinese cities such as Beijing, Chongqing, Shanghai, and Xi'an to Lhasa have been established, significantly facilitating travel to this unique region. In addition to domestic air travel, the airport accepts limited international flights, including from Kathmandu in neighboring Nepal, allowing tourists and business people to reach Tibet more conveniently. At the same time, for those who prefer to travel overland, there are routes from other regions of China, although it should be noted that these routes can be quite long and challenging due to the terrain and altitude. In recent years, an alternative and more comfortable way to reach Tibet has emerged: high-speed rail routes. The Qinghai-Tibet Railway is especially popular, considered one of the highest railway routes in the world, crossing the plateau and mountain ranges of Tibet. This railway not only provides efficient transportation links, but also offers an amazing opportunity to enjoy breathtaking landscapes and the unique nature of this region. Traveling through Tibet is undoubtedly one of the most amazing and unique tourist experiences on the planet. Its natural features, rich culture, ancient traditions, and picturesque landscapes make it a place that leaves an unforgettable feeling of magic and uniqueness in the heart of every visitor. We hope this video helps you better understand and love this magical place by revealing its secrets and beauties. Every week we strive to share new content that opens up new horizons for you and allows you to touch the amazing corners of the world like never before. Join our growing community of adventure and discovery enthusiasts to become part of this exciting journey. Your support is very important to us. It inspires us to continue creating interesting and informative content, expanding boundaries, and sharing knowledge. Now continue to explore the world, its magic, and mysteries through our videos. Don't miss the opportunity to immerse yourself in the amazing world of Tibet and its unique atmosphere. Just click on the image, and even more exciting discoveries await you. We hope you enjoy this journey, and that it leaves bright and unforgettable impressions in your heart.